How are you? Hi. Yeah, I have a camera today. I know exactly what you're thinking. Holy shit, you're black. Yeah, I know. I know. It's disappointing. I know. No, I'm just joking. How are you guys today? So yeah, I've always had the camera. I just couldn't figure out what kind of, angle I wanted when I play. It's been quite difficult because I have a lot of stuff in my room. But I really wanted you guys to see the PC. I built this myself. It's a lot of fun. It's so funny because I actually work in IT. Next, I'm getting a glass case right here. I'm gonna put a bunch of anime waifu titties and stuff like that, stuff like that in there. So this is gonna be pretty fun. Now, as I promised, because you guys on Discord wouldn't stop talking about it, Xiao. This guy is going to be so stupid. He's just going to be so good. His DPS, what he can do and stuff like that. By the way, it's the second time I'm recording this because my fan was on and I didn't even realize that I had to change some stuff. So today we'll be watching it from Javian. Javian is great. Go sub to him. He has a nice voice. I'm jealous. I'm very jealous. He has a really nice voice. Go sub to him. He does a very good job. He goes in depth. Like I said, today we're talking more mechanics, how you can probably use your Xiao a little bit more carefully, output as much damage as possible, and different things that you probably didn't see from his abilities. That's what I'm trying to aim for. Kind of showing you guys how you can use your characters outside of just what they do. I want to tell you guys some of the things, like I said, that I think of from playing fighting games, from playing different gacha games that involve a lot of mechanics. So I want you guys to kind of walk away from this hopefully with a new way of using him, or maybe even just learning something new about him. So thank you, Javian. As I promised, here's the video. So I'm gonna have him muted. It's just because I just want to go over just the main stuff. I want to keep this video as short as possible as well. So we're just gonna kind of just run through it. But Xiao is gonna be just a massive addition to your party. So this is his normal attack. His normal attack is perform up to 6 rapid strikes. That's very fine. Charged attack, dive down and impact the ground, causing damage relative to the falling height, can only be triggered in mid-air. Now it says it can only be triggered in mid-air, but the only thing I'm thinking is if you can short hop this, because obviously as long as you're jumping and you're in the air, you're considered mid-air. So the thing that I keep thinking is because it staggers enemies like crazy, so when he slams the ground, enemies kind of just scatter everywhere. I wonder if you short hop it, you can just keep doing it consecutively. Obviously, depending on how short hopping works in this game and how frame canceling works and how you can cancel your abilities and do all these other things. Because again, I wasn't part of the CBT, so I'm not quite sure, but I think short hopping is kind of better if you need to get yourself out of a bind, because like I said, when he does it, all the enemies scatter, and so you can help your teammates. So if you're in a dungeon or something and somebody is just getting jumped, because from what I've seen, a lot of this game is just a bunch of melee ads that are just going to just charge you. So sometimes it might be crucial to be like, hey Xiao, like if you're beta and you're getting overwhelmed by like 9 enemies, Xiao can just go over there, just short hop the crap out of everybody and just get everybody off of you so you can create yourself some breathing room. Now again, that just, as I said, depends on the mechanics of jumping in the game. He also has a lot of these sweeps, just like I said with Chi-Chi in my last video. He has all of these circular sweeps, which is good for multiple target hitting. Now obviously you can still hit a lot of targets with just single stabs, but the thing is, if you have someone who can protect themselves like in a full circle, using their basic attack becomes a lot more viable, right? Because if you're using someone like Diluk, who just kind of attacks straight forward, just straight in front of him, someone can come from behind and just slap you, right? Things like that. But if you have someone like Xiao and Chi-Chi, who kind of has this full circle AoE kind of basic attack, it kind of gives you a little bit more security. So this attack right here is what I'm really wondering, can you just short hop it? Now I'm gonna have a video up from Smash Brothers Melee, because that's what short hopping is most prevalent in. So what I'm going to also explain is just what it is. So when you're short hopping, let's just say this is max height. This is max height. Let's say if he short hops, he'll end up like somewhere right here where this line is. So just short hop and then do it, short hop, do it, and just do it over and over and over and over. So also Just by the way physics works, the closer you are to the ground when you short hop, the sooner you get your frames back to reset, and you end up standing still as a character again. So you'll just short hop and then just keep doing it over and over and over and over. Short hop, hold it, bam, 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 and just keep doing it over and over and over, and keep getting his charged attack in the midair. So I think that would be a lot more prevalent. Actually, now that I think about it, it actually might be more prevalent damage wise, because you're getting more out in a short amount of time instead of jumping this high. Like short hopping would be considered like midway, like right here-ish, and then you just keep doing it, especially since he gains a little bit more height when you charge it, because he stops for a second, he goes up. This is called I guess you could say activation frames or initial frames, and then it just kind of slams down like that. Yeah. Not only that, the time from his starting frames to his ending actual slam is pretty short. It's pretty short. And you can do it from straight, just any height. So this is limited static wind cycling. This is his charged attack that he can just charge 2 times. And I'm gonna get into why this is busted later when we actually get into constellations and everything else. But this is gonna be pretty huge because you can get more and more stacks on it, and it's just gonna be so good. So let's just see what it looks like for you guys, and then we'll continue to the next one. So you can just do it in any direction, which is really good. You can go back and forth, you can go forward twice. If you guys play Smash Bros, it's pretty much like a Pikachu and Pichu, how you can do it 2 times. So this is Bane of All Evil. This is probably one of the most busted things that I've seen. It's really good. He gets a damage buff, and he gets his element buff of Anemo or Anemo, however you say it. I say it in Japanese, Anemo, but I guess that's not right. But the only thing that I think is obviously a downside is maintaining this form continuously drain Xiao's HP. But one of the mechanics that I want you guys to kind of see, because I was watching some people use Xiao in the closed beta test. A lot of people don't use his dash attack to get out of situations, especially when he has this form on. So I think if you have this form on, you should be very cognizant of how many charges you have, because you get 2 of the dash charge. So I think that if you're draining your own HP as dot damage, or your damage over time, that's what dot stands for, and then you also have ads and like range characters just shooting at you and stuff like that, you're losing a lot of HP really fast. So you really have to make sure that you have an out. And even if you just switch characters, I don't know if he resets. Meaning like if you have Xiao out and then you just switch to Klee, will he retain his mask, or will it go off? Obviously, I don't think he'll be taking damage, but if he retains his mask, that's actually going to be very interesting to see. But this is a good ability. Again, when we get into constellations, that's what I'm really excited for to show you guys. When we get into constellations, we'll see. Or the dupe system, in a way. Yeah, he gains more height, and he goes further when he uses his dash. That's why I say it's really key. And the last thing about his dash, you guys have to remember, there are some ranged enemies in the game, nowhere near as many as melee, but you can use it as a gap closer. So if there's a range character like right over just wherever, just away from you, use it to close the gap and then just go in. Don't be afraid to do that either. Seeing this in action is just really good. So mini bosses aren't too affected by stagger, but I'm guessing if you do it on a certain frame of the I guess you could say mini boss, they'll get staggered by it. So lastly, about short hopping, this is something I actually thought of as well. Enemies have a certain height when they use their attacks, a certain amount of frames, like starting frames and ending frames. If you're short hopping this, I'm pretty sure this will happen, because there's a lot of melee characters in the game, and like I said, these mini bosses don't get really staggered that much. You're at a certain level when you short hop, so you're still prone to getting hit with a melee attack from other enemies. So I kind of want to give you guys a caution of wind on that. Try to use it around ads that's easily disruptible and can get staggered very easily, and try to maybe use your dashes around mini bosses. So this is just, I'm guessing, his like passives and his regular abilities. Increase all party members' animal damage and charged attack. That's pretty basic. Also, let me know, is there like a leader quote unquote for the 4 characters that you pick, or is it as long as they're just like, you know, in the party? I guess like as long as he's in the party of the 4, like, you guys get this buff. The next one is transition gravity defier. Decreases all party members falling damage by 30 to greatest effects. So you can only have one, so whichever one has the greatest. So you don't take much fall damage. That's, I mean, I guess that's fine. Yeah. Starting Bane of All Evil increases Xiao's damage by 5%. After this, Xiao's damage continues to increase by 5% every 3 seconds until the skill ends. Max 25% increase. So just, again, this is just for new people who don't quite understand you know, why percentages are just so busted, even in games like League or like Epic 7 and stuff like that. It's because when you have a percentage and you have a pretty high attack rating or attack power, however you want to use, it's gonna skyrocket, right? So him having that mask on is just he's gonna scale with like the enemies. Like, let's just say for whatever reason, I can actually see this game having like a endurance mode where the longer you're in like a level or a dungeon, you know, the stronger the enemies get and stuff like that. This is going to allow him to scale with them. Obviously it's capped at 25%, so it's only going to work to a certain amount, but having percentages is just really, really good. So I'm also kind of worried that if he doesn't have enough HP, he's just going to end up dying, because you need to have this on for a certain amount of time. And if it's like just continuously draining your HP, you're gonna end up kind of having to go in and out. I'm wondering if you can build him like a bruiser, where you can have him have quite a bit of like a good amount of HP and like a good amount of attack, to where he's difficult to kill, instead of like, you know, the glass cannon kind of thing. When he uses his double charge attack, all subsequent lemniscatic wind cyclings damage by 10% for 6 seconds, max of 3, and duration refreshes with new stacks. So every time you use it, you get a damage buff on using it by 10%. So if you use the first one, your next one that you use is going to deal more damage, 10% for 6 seconds, and then it just keeps going. And the max is 3, so 30%, and it's for 10 seconds. I mean, no, it's for 6 seconds, but it's for 10%, and I think the cooldown is 4 seconds or something like that, 3-4 seconds. But this is actually going to be really busted, because you guys are about to see why this is going to be so OP. Increases lemniscatic cycling charges by 1. This is why that's going to be so strong, because you're just going to have 3 instead of 2. So before it was 2 charges to where you can dash toward an enemy 2 times. Now if you get this, you have 3. So now you can use it 3 times, and then you get the max 30%, and then it resets, and then you end up getting more. So as long as you're just jumping, I shouldn't say jumping, if you're just charging around the battlefield, you're just going to get an insane amount of damage out of it. When in party but not currently active character, Xiao's energy recharges increased by 25%. So if he's on standby, you get 25% recharge on your energy. Increases lemniscatic wind cycling skill level by 3, essentially more damage and possibly cooldown reduction. When Xiao's HP falls below 50%, gains 100% defense bonus. So this is going to be great for when he's using his mask. It's going to make it to where he can last longer, get that ability passive of where the longer you have it on, the more damage you can do with a max of 25%, which is why I say I don't necessarily think a glass cannon build would be good, but I guess a glass cannon build could be super good, because you'll just probably one-shot everything. But that's assuming you understand the mechanics, you understand how to use them, and you don't just kind of sit there and just kind of mindlessly attack. Increases Bane of All Evil skill by level by 3, so it's nothing too crazy. During Bane of Evil, Hitting 2 or more enemies with the charge attack grants limit mechanics when cycling. 1 additional charge and reduces limit mechanic when cycling CD by 1 second. This is why I said him using that's going to be so stupid. So if you have your mask on and you use your dash, your gap closer, and you hit 2 or more enemies, 1, you get an extra charge, and it reduces the cooldown, so you can have that 30% last almost infinitely as long as you're hitting 2 or more enemies. It's just going to be so dumb. So he's going to be jumping around the battlefield. He's going to be dashing just everywhere. He's going to be literally all over the place, like to the point where you can't probably keep your eyes on him, because he's just gonna keep getting all of those buffs. He's gonna have that mask on, getting that 25% for 6 seconds. He's then gonna keep charging everywhere and using that dash so he can get all of this off and get those 3 stacks and get that 10% up to 30%, and then keep resetting that 6 seconds every time he uses it. It's just, he's gonna be just, oh my god, thinking about it, it's just like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this guy. So thanks guys. Next video will probably be Klee. I really want to talk about her as well. I think her bomb throwing is going to be pretty strong as well, and that stagger disruption that she has will be pretty good as well. So thank you guys. I will see you next time. Watch out for the Among Us video again with friends. It was very, very fun. People were angry before it even started, and I was just that was pretty hilarious. That it's halfway done, so I hope you guys like Among Us. So until next time, I'll see you guys, and peace, man. Thank you.